Arabs are better served under Israeli government than under the Palestinian Authority government.
When they're in the ground dead, that's where a majority of Palestinians end up.
A majority of Palestinians end up dead? How dare you say something like that? There's 15.5 million people that live in the Palestinian Authority. Half of them end up dead? You're trying to tell me that 7.5 million Palestinians have been killed? Is that what you're trying to say?
There's a difference between Zionism and anti-Semitism.
Then build it out for me.
You don't support the state of Israel doesn't mean.
So let me get this straight. You don't hate Jews, you just hate the Jews' right to exist in their homeland.
You're not even Jewish. You can't speak for you. Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. That's
You're not black. You want me to exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the worst identity politics arguments. Just because I'm not something, it doesn't make me wrong.
That's not in line with conservative politics.
How so?
Because there is no separation of church and state.
Let me ask you a question. Why can Christians freely practice their religion in Israel, but Jews can't freely practice their religion in the Palestinian Authority?
Stop practicing it.
What happens if an Israeli citizen goes into a Bethlehem? What happens if a Jew goes into Bethlehem? If a Muslim goes into Jerusalem, they can go to a mosque. That's what happens.
Do you know what happens at Al-Aqsa? Do you know what happens?
Al-Aqsa Mosque?
People are turned away because they can't pray in their own place.
Well, hold on a second. They have full access to Al-Aqsa Mosque. I was there myself. I was around 500 Muslims on the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Hold on a second. Jews' heads are cut off in Hebron if they go to Hebron. Jews and Israelis are not allowed in Palestinian Authority. I was in Hebron 3 weeks ago. If a Jew goes to Hebron, their head will get cut off.
I was praying at Al-Aqsa. And there, you should not be able to prove your religion. You should be able, if a Muslim...
Okay, that's a really interesting point. So Jews should be allowed on the Temple Mount. Because the Muslims don't allow them on the Temple Mount right now. So Jordanian control the Temple Mount.
It was since the Prophet Muhammad. It was there since the Prophet Muhammad.
Oh, okay, so do you think, here's the thing, so do you think Jews should be allowed on the Temple Mount?
It's a...
So you don't think it's a Temple Mount, because if you do, that's the very interesting thing. If you just say it's a Temple Mount, I'm putting you admittedly in a very difficult position, because Muslims do not recognize it as a Temple Mount.
Right, they recognize it as their place of worship, and it's been that way since the beginning.
No, it's been the Temple Mount since King David, thank you very much. So, I mean, you could say whatever you wanted to say. It's a huge point. It's actually, it's one of the biggest inhibitions of peace. I think that Jews and Muslims and Christians should all be allowed to go to the Temple Mount. Right now, Muslims do not allow Jews to go into the Temple Mount. One rabbi is allowed to go in once a year. That's it. That's the treaty. Why is that? How is that fair? Why are Jews not allowed to go? But I mean, Muslims are allowed to go to their holy sites. You just said you were allowed to go.
Okay, but so people doesn't mean that other people aren't allowed to go.
And if that's the case, then I'll totally denounce it. But you are a living example that you were allowed to go now. So.